Good morning. Well, today what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to attempt to change out the follower spring on my commission rifle. Okay, and what I've done is already I've taken the trigger guard off of the commission rifle. This is it right here. It's not really a magazine because what it does is it uses the Mannlicher system, which uses this is the follower, and the follower just it just doesn't seem right. So the follower, and what you do is you take you can see there's just wraps around, so in the middle when you put it down, the follower pushes up on the rounds themselves. On the back is a clip, and it fits into the lock for the clips. So and then you hit that, you release them, and it'll come up. On this particular for the commission, there's a cover on the bottom that comes, because normally what happens is after you use your 5 rounds, the little clip falls off the bottom. You put this on and the clip comes out the top. So that's just, I guess it's the little spring that pushes it up or something. I don't know, but that's the way it works for me. May be not the way it's designed, but that's the way that it works for me. This is your follower. There's a follower spring guide, and you can see it comes out the top here, that it's got to have some place to go, and we'll see that when we take it apart, and we'll see that it's a lot better. All right, so to take this apart, there's 2 screws. There's a screw right here. This is the screw for the follower, and then you have this screw here. I've already loosened them up a little bit. Sometimes they're a little tight. And the bottom screw is for the dust cover. There's a dust cover that fits over the bottom. So yeah, the bottom screw took me almost 3 days to get off. When I had to soak it in Croil for about 3 days, and it finally loosened up. You got to be careful about it though. If you mess them up too bad, the screw heads, you can't find these screws. I looked for these screws because I didn't do all of it. I did some of it, but on this back screw you can see where it's messed up. I'm going to try to fix that before I put it back in again and see what I can do. Anyway, so let's take those screws out. I'm going to remove the dust cover screw. Parkinson's sure makes things interesting. When you're taking these screws out, they won't come out all the way. The screw part is actually down. Oh, I thought it was going to come out. Is actually on this side. The screw head's on here, but the threads are on the other side. So what you do is you have to loosen this up and make sure that their threads are past the side. And then what I do is I take a small punch and just punch them out. You can use a rubber mallet, or I'd use the bottom of my wooden screwdrivers. They seem to work pretty good. Okay, so now the 2 screws are out. So there you go. So there, the screws are out, and like I said, the screw head, see the actual threads are on the opposite side of the head when you put them in, and it's like that for them all. Even for like my Carcanos, I know that it's the same way. And from I'm looking at my guns, and the also for the Austrian steer, it's the magazines or the trigger guards are the same way when you want to take them apart. Okay, so now what we've got is we have to get the dust protector off. The best way that I found to get the dust protector off is you can either stick a punch down inside there or whatever, and you just hit it and it comes off. Notice it's got those little wings on it like that, and those will come in hand, be important when you have to go through and change the this. I'll put this thing back on. Okay, so we've got the dust cover off. Now we got, this is the follower, and the best way that I found to take the follower off is to push it down through the bottom of the trigger guard, and there's your follower. It comes out. Now your spring and your the spring that's in there, and you can see it's broken. It's in two pieces, and that's two pieces. I got something on my screen I need to get rid of. Okay, there you go. All right, I hope that didn't show up on your on the movie itself, but it was an ad for Norton antivirus. And no, anyway, so what we got is the springs broke, so we need to replace it. And I've got this spring right here. So what you do is you put your, what I like to do for this is, you can see where the spring goes inside, and that's, and the end is where that thing comes out, the guide, the spring guide. So I put the spring in, and then I put my guide in. The guide goes in the long way. So now it's in. Now comes the tricky part. This is where, at least for me anyway, I have to wrestle with this thing. But the idea is you have to get the spring sitting. This thing sits inside like that. You have to get the spring sitting in there so that you push it, and that way there it'll keep the follower upright so that it'll work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it in and push down at the same time. And there we go. Okay, so it's in. Man, that's the easiest it ever went in for me, so I'm happy about that. So I don't know if you can appreciate it. Get it in some more light here. There's the plunger, and there's your follower right there, and you can see where it's sitting right up against that thing. So now you gotta put the screws in. So you take the screws. They're different size screws. One's thicker than the other one. Now you have to line up the holes. So the way that I line up the holes is I go to the side where the threads are at, and I have a small punch. And what I do is once I get one of the holes, the hole on that side lined up, I'm down on my favorite workbench right here in my lap while I'm doing this, but I should bring it up here. Really? There we go. Oop. And I get it in the hole. Okay, so it's in the hole, and I push it in a little bit, and what that does is it lines up the other hole, the one where you want to put your screw. So what I'm doing is I'm using it sort of like a slave pin. If anybody's ever done anything that needed a slave pin. So now we got this in, and we should be able to just bang it in. So now you see I'm sorry, it's the Parkinson's. The punch fell out and my screw is pretty much in. So then you take your screwdriver and you screwed it. Okay. Now for the dust cover, there's some grooves right here, you can see them. That's where these go. So you got to put it inside the grooves first. Inside the grooves first, and then you just push down. And there you go, it's in. Okay, might have to do the same thing with them. Okay, so you get that in. Get the rubber mallet out here a little bit. Okay, screws in. Tighten it up. And there we are. So now we've got it. And that's actually a lot better than it was. Then what we'll do is we will put this on the rifle and we'll test it and see how it works. Okay, I've got the let's move this out of the way. I've got the clip loaded inside the rifle. So I've had some clip errors too, problems too. I bought some cheap ass ones that I've been trying to bend and manipulate so that they'll work properly in this. So this is a real test here to see how this is going to work. The clip is coming out. Every time I do it, the clip comes out. But and I don't know if you saw the clip fall out the bottom, but it works. I still need to do some work on the actual clips themselves to get them to line up 100% with this gun, but I'm getting there. And the ejector just doesn't seem to be doing what it's supposed to be doing either. I mean, it just kind of falls out, but at least it's ejecting, and that's important. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I hope that that you learned a little something today, because I did. And anyway, well, thank you very much for watching. Bye.